Welcome to the German Perspective, where we pick news from German sources about American politics. Today's topic: inside Trump's trial, the showdown with his adversaries. To his trial, Donald Trump can't say anything. Instead, he's deploying his many allies, even in the courtroom, with a clear mission to intimidate and rally support. Just days ago, New York Judge Juan Merchan threatened to throw Donald Trump in jail for repeatedly violating the order not to publicly comment on the ongoing criminal proceedings against him. Trump disregarded it and continued his tirade. The judge had already fined Trump thousands of dollars for this, but for the billionaire, it was a cheap thrill until Merchan made it clear that jail time was the next option. Since then, the noisy defendant has toned it down. However, Trump and his allies have a new strategy to undermine the trial and the trust in American justice. The scene in the courtroom on the 15th floor now resembles a mafia movie or a trial in Berlin for Klan crime. It's as if Donald Trump has brought his strong brothers. Behind him in the bench sit a handful of nationally known Republican politicians, all men who have sworn allegiance to Trump. Unlike him, they don't have to stay silent. Instead, they spread their propaganda about the trial parallel to the ongoing proceedings. Attempts at intimidation from the backbench. It's Tuesday in New York, and this action is not a random show of power. On this day of the trial, Trump's fiercest opponent is on the line. Michael Cohen, his once closest advisor and lawyer, has long turned against his old boss. His testimony could lead to Trump's conviction and even send the former president to jail. The presence of Trumpists is, therefore, also a pose of intimidation. Family and fanatics. Trump's supporters from the Republican Party have come to New York. There sits Vivek Ramaswamy, known for his relentless attacks. During the primaries, he initially ran against Donald Trump, but he quickly withdrew and has since eyed a possible vice presidency. "This trial is a disgrace," he wrote on the X News channel before the trial. During a break in the trial, the 38-year-old stands before reporters outside the courthouse, railing against the judge and to the TV cameras for minutes. "The real accounting we need is from a family member of Judge Merchan," says Ramaswamy, referring to the judge's daughter, who allegedly collects millions of dollars as an activist. According to Ramaswamy, the trial against Trump is nothing but a money-raising trick benefiting the Democrats. In reality, this trial is election manipulation because it aims to damage the Republican candidate's reputation. These are statements that Trump later spreads as quotes on his own social network, Truth Social, pushing the limits of his imposed silence to the maximum. Trump supporters listened to Cohen's delicate testimony. Back in the courtroom, beside Ramaswamy, a former presidential candidate has also taken a seat. Just a few months ago, Doug Burgum, as the governor of North Dakota, had quietly criticized Trump. Now he, too, has surrendered to the Republican leader. Next to him are Byron Donalds and Corey Mills, two congressmen from the Trumpist camp. They all apparently consciously wear Trump's uniform white shirt, red tie, and a dark blue suit, along with the US flag on the lapel. Behind them, Trump's daughter-in-law Lara Trump, alongside her husband Eric, observes the trial. Donald Trump recently made her chairwoman of the Republican Party. In this role, she can raise, manage, and spend donations as she sees fit. For example, for her father-in-law's exorbitant legal fees. But despite the numerous Trumpists in the audience, the key witness Michael Cohen remains calm. The 57-year-old responds clearly to the prosecution's questions. On whose behalf did Michael Cohen pay the $130,000 hush money to the porn actress Stormy Daniels? Cohen's answer: on behalf of Mr. Trump. The secret deal was at the direction of Donald J. Trump and for the benefit of Donald J. Trump, says Cohen. His boss was involved in everything, even the allegedly manipulated and concealed repayments to him. These statements are significant. They could convince not only the 12 jury members present, but also parts of the American public of the prosecution's version. Donald Trump has been building his empire of lies for decades with the help of many of his henchmen. Attacks against the justice system from the highest echelons. To counter this narrative, another man has come to New York. It is Mike Johnson, a right-wing conservative Republican and Speaker of the House of Representatives. He is the third most powerful politician in the United States. While Joe Biden and Kamala Harris consciously refrain from commenting on this trial against Donald Trump, Mike Johnson knows no bounds. The 52-year-old Republican stands before the courthouse and later enters the courtroom as well. The many cameras of the attending television stations are also on him. The goal of his unusual journey, the Speaker of the House wants to discredit the credibility of the key witness, Michael Cohen. He is someone who has committed perjury in the past and is known to lie, says Johnson. No one should believe a word from this man today. He lied to Congress, the IRS, and federal election officials. Mike Johnson has a point here. When Michael Cohen stood by Trump, he consciously lied. But he says today, he did it to protect Trump from prosecution. Cohen has long admitted to these lies and even went to prison for them. Then he wanted to start a new life without Donald Trump. Since then, he has been on a kind of crusade against his former boss. He openly admits, "I want to see Trump behind bars," but the Speaker of the House goes beyond just criticizing the witness. Before the court, he, like Donald Trump and Vivek Ramaswamy, casts doubt on the integrity of the U.S. justice system. He is one of hundreds of millions in America who are deeply concerned about this trial against the Republican candidate. The battle begins in court while Republicans outside the courthouse and on social media attack the justice system. Inside, Trump's lawyer Todd Blanche also launches an attack. The long-awaited and notorious cross-examination of Michael Cohen has begun. It's currently the most crucial opportunity to convince the jurors of the alternate version. The first verbal exchange between Trump's defender and witness Michael Cohen sets the tone. Todd Blanche asks, "Do you know who I am?" Michael Cohen replies, "I do." Todd Blanche continues, "You called me a whining shitter on TikTok, right?" Michael Cohen then says, "That sounds like something I would say, yes." With these first words, the tone of the cross-examination is set. Michael Cohen openly admits to the insults and curses he has been hurling at Trump for years. He admits to calling him a wimp dictator, an uncouth misogynist, and a villain sprinkled with orange chip powder. He has even called Trump a mango Mussolini. Is there a motive of revenge or conviction? Michael Cohen doesn't hide that he wants to help put Donald Trump behind bars. This honesty could win him points with the jury. But Trump's defense relies on proving his motives as revenge, greed, and therefore, his lack of credibility. Todd Blanche and the legal team's calculation to make at least one jury member believe that Michael Cohen is exaggerating with his accusations against Trump. Perhaps he even invented everything. In reality, a frustrated, unstable character would be on a crusade against his former idol to make himself important. Todd Blanche is banking on attributing base motives to Michael Cohen. Michael Cohen's version is different. He stood up against Trump when he pleaded guilty in 2018. It was his family that convinced him to finally break with Trump. "I wanted to show loyalty to my wife, my daughter, my son, and the country," says Cohen. Addressing the jurors, he says, "I made the decision not to lie for President Trump anymore. It must have been a difficult decision." Michael Cohen repeatedly describes how much Trump, his children, and all the employees of the Trump Organization became a surrogate family for him, for whom he was willing to give everything. He admits to being knee-deep in the cult of Donald Trump and spreading his "Make America Great Again" messages from his savior. Today, Cohen is a lost son to the Trump family, and he's unlikely to come back. But around the MAGA clan, many new members have quickly gathered. Part of them sits in the audience behind Trump today. Like Michael Cohen once did, they hope for his favor to get a share of his power. Trump is breeding new fanatics. How Trump secures this power, viewers in New York are currently getting deep insights into. Those who become part of the MAGA circle cannot leave the cult. Even when the FBI once rummaged through Michael Cohen's apartment, he still stood by his former boss, who by then was sitting in the Oval Office, caring less and less about his protege. Trump held the pressured Michael Cohen up until the end. Immediately after the FBI raided Cohen's apartment in 2018, Seizing his phones and numerous documents, Michael Cohen called Donald Trump again. According to Cohen, Trump told him, "Don't worry, I'm the President of the United States. Nothing can happen to you." But the subtext of those words was, "Stay loyal. Don't turn against me. Don't speak and don't cooperate with the authorities." Michael Cohen made a different choice, and he paid a high price for it. So, it would likely be an invaluable satisfaction for him if a Trump followed him into prison. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more updates. See you next time.